What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Second Passport. Today, we're going to cover 4 ways that I see a lot of foreigners get ripped off when moving to Ecuador before they even arrive here. 4 different ways that I'm going to cover that I see all the time, right, with new arrivals. The first way that I see uh, foreigners just get ripped off or just overcharged is another way I like to put it. Is that when you're bringing big dogs like these, your fur babies, to Ecuador, right? If they're too big to fit in the cabin with you, then you got a problem, and you got to put them under the plane and ship them. And I've seen foreigners literally pay, very recently too, thousands of dollars just to bring a larger dog to Ecuador. Now, of course, I'm telling you this now so you can maybe plan a little bit. If you can get them right service dog certified before bringing them, so you can bring them in the cabin with you, that'll save you a ton of money. Or maybe, plan ahead a little bit and don't get a big dog before you move to Ecuador. Maybe there's a place or a person you can leave it with right before moving. Or if not, just know you're going to have to pay out the wazoo. I don't know why airlines charge that much to bring them when you're only paying a few $100s for your airplane seat, and you have to pay thousands to bring a dog under the cabin, like in the storage area. I don't get it. The second way that I've seen foreigners just get, myself included, that I see foreigners just get ripped off, myself included, when moving to a new country is, and I get it. You've lived a very organized life, and you like, especially when you travel abroad, you like everything to be booked ahead, and you like the security of that with the reservation and everything. So what do? And I've done it too. You go to a site like maybe Craigslist and you search for something to rent long term, and you agree online without ever visiting to rent that long term. So what does this long term rental do? They'll charge you a deposit. Usually it's 1 or 2 months. It could be thousands of dollars before you even get there, and you send it to them, right, to reserve it. And then you arrive, and for whatever reason, right, it could be something about the surroundings or the house itself that just bothers you to the point where it's a deal killer and you want to leave. It happens. It's happened to me. It happens all the time. And guess what? These people in these foreign countries like Ecuador, they're not going to return to you that deposit. It's another way we get ripped off. So, what's something you can do to avoid this? Well, why don't you try staying in a hotel when you get to your destination? Maybe you can negotiate a longer term deal, like a weekly deal with them. And then once you're here, you can search for a rental. And once you see the place and you like the place, and then you agree for a longer term deal, knowing that if anything were to go wrong once you're living there, chances are that you're going to lose that deposit if you want to move, rather quickly from when you go in. And Airbnb, I hate to say, but there's a lot of Airbnbs that don't charge any deposit, and it's a great way to have your own place and your own kitchen, if that's what you need, instead of just a hotel room. And you can rent it for a week or 2 weeks, right? And then the risk is minimal if you arrive and it's not what you were hoping for. The number 3 way I've seen that foreigners get ripped off when moving abroad, um, that is bringing container. Now let me explain. Sure, a lot of shipping companies will quote you the entire cost, A to Z, right, from door to door, and maybe it's 8 or 10,000 bucks is what it normally costs, to ship a container from North to South America, as far as what I've seen. But how they rip you off is something always happens, right? Maybe you ship before you realize that you really need residency for it to work, or something happens in the port, there's a problem with the inventory or something, and then you have to pay for obligatory storage in the port by the day. Something always happens, and you're always probably going to pay 30, 40, 50% more than what you planned on initially spending bringing the container. So I would say, if you want to avoid this, just don't bring a container, right? Just like friends of mine just did when moving to Ecuador. They brought 20 bags on a Delta flight. So I mean, I would rather do that than ship a container. That's just me. The number four way I've seen people get ripped off before they even arrive to Ecuador when moving here is paying these lawyer or visa facilitator type people thousands of dollars. The average cost is like 2 grand or something just to uh, help them submit their visa application. That's literally all they do. They don't help them get the visa. They help them get the visa. They help them submit their visa application. I've done this process myself. It's easy. Yeah, you might need some translating help if you don't speak a lick of Spanish, right? But once you're here, you can find that 8 to 10 to 12 bucks an hour. You can find a real decent translator to help you through the steps, which aren't that many. And help you fill out the forms and stuff. So it's not even that big a deal, right? In my opinion, all you really need is transfer. You don't have to pay 1,500, 2,000 or more dollars to a visa facilitator for the service. It's just not necessary. For instance, let me show you what I mean. Here's the website, the current website of the Ecuador government as far as what you need for a pensioner's visa. This is literally all you need. You need some photographs, passport style. You need your valid passport and a copy. You need to be legal here in Ecuador or whatever country, right, you're in, is what they're saying. And you need to have your police record check, which is something you'd have to get if you hired a facilitator or not, right? You're still going to need to get it and get it translated and apostilled, right? And legalized before you even get here. That's the hardest part, and that's what takes the longest. I would get that definitely before coming tip. Also, you're going to need that proof of funding. Where's your pension coming from, social security letter, or whatever. So, as you can see, what is this, 5 or 6 different things? And the hardest part about this is gathering the requirements, which you're going to have to do whether you hire someone to help you or not. So, I suggest just avoid that person, that intermediary that you really don't need. Avoid paying those thousands of dollars that they often charge, and just hire a translator as needed per hour. You can find them pretty easily here in Ecuador. So that's 4 ways that us gringos get ripped off when moving abroad, right? Often before we even get here. So definitely something to keep in mind. I'm Mr. Second Passport. Take care.